Hey y'all, it's Donnie. I'm here today for a reading of the day. I have my microphone, but I don't have it high enough, so I may just pick it up every now and then. Um, I have my deck here, so I'm gonna shuffle because I didn't do it off camera. So if you need to get a line, y'all already know. Go ahead and do that. And happy Wednesday. Okay? Cool. So, what I will say though about the energy is I did have a visual come through during my meditation, and it was of someone jogging along a canyon. It looked like maybe California, but it was definitely somewhere where there was not a lot of like shrubbery or foliage or greenery around, and there were a lot of like tiny rocks. So the trail kind of blended into like the dry dirt in the rocks. And I just felt like that was an image of determination and faith along the way to the goal. I feel like just because you can't see the complete end doesn't mean that you should give up. I do feel, though, it is also a reminder to nourish along the way. So there's that. But yeah, so let's see what the cards have to say, though, energetically speaking. All right. We're gonna start with 3 cards. Okay, and you dropped 3. So gratitude. Okay, so the first 3 cards out that we have are money is attracted to great ideas. Hold on, let me. Okay, just there we go. Money is it says money is attracted to great ideas, y'all. I can't deal with the blur in, blur out. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what kind of screen I hit. I just hit record, okay? The second card is green eyes. Oh, it's 4 cards. The third card is the spiral. And the fourth card is the rainbow. So I'm going to read them and then we'll see what the succinct message is. So it says, put your ideas in motion. Write down your aha moments. Don't wait. Act. For money is attracted to great ideas. Green eye says, are you seeing clearly or are you comparing yourself to others? Are you giving yourself a clear scope of what your own self-image or are you measuring your individual experiences against someone else's unique journey? There's a difference. Use your sight to view your own path. And then the spiral says, what feels like a loop is an upward spiral. Be patient with yourself and the timing of the reveal. What looks familiar on the surface is an elevation in disguise. Once you're able to recognize that you are different, now and that you are who has changed, the rest of the changes will begin to reveal and show themselves to you. Keep going and growing. Keeping progress on all levels of your being in heart and mind. And then rainbow says, are you seeing auras, orbs, or floating lights? There may be specific spirits who've been making themselves seen and known to you. If this feels like a safe experience, you may want to intentionally communicate in return. There may be invisible assistance available to you. Okay? So, overall, I feel like even though it says money is attracted to great ideas, I feel like these are just your ideas in general. And if money has been something that's been on your mind lately, then yes, absolutely. This is a response to the call of asking about money. However, I feel like you're not allowing your money to come in if you have your eyes on everyone else's plate, or you have your eyes on everyone else's accomplishments, what everyone else has done to achieve those accomplishments, because that may have absolutely nothing to do with you, your journey, and how you may acquire, magnetize your said increase, okay, or flow of money. Spiral and rainbow coming into the reading is like, as soon as you get your eyes back on your own grass, okay, and your own circumstances and your own flow, then you'll be able to tap into your invisible helpers, what they're saying to you, how they're wanting you to respond to what you say that you want, especially if you're someone who is doing any altar work, prayer. If you talk to or communicate with specific spirits, of course, or ancestors, things like that, then you're not able to hear the messages because you are preoccupied by putting your attention everywhere but on yourself. And I want to say, you can compare yourself to others. I mean, people do it all the time. But how is that really helping you to mold and shape your own experience, your own journey, your unique story? It's not uncommon to think that, well, this person is doing that way, so maybe I should do it too, right? Because a formula that works for one could maybe work for somebody else, which is understandable. However, you can't on one hand, be someone who agrees that everyone's individual journey matters and then not tune in and tap in to your own individual journey. The stories that you have to tell are yours, and they're yours for a reason. Okay, just because you're not able, and even going back to the visual of the jogger, just because you're not able to see the end result immediately doesn't mean that the end result isn't there. It doesn't mean that whatever it is that you're hoping for, because this is like getting into that hopeful energy now. The faith is not really sustained here. Whatever it is that you're hoping for, you can't even really get started yet, because you have to adjust your perspective. You have to adjust your attention. So let's see if there's anything else to add. Okay, that's way too many. Let's see if it's fewer cards to add to that. Maybe like one more card to add to that. And then maybe I'll pull from a different deck. Okay. Ooh, okay. So the next card is fire. I love fire. All right. So fire says, be alive in all that you do. Feed desire with healthy choices that are capable of sustaining you instead of extinguishing you and your drive. Feel your instincts and trust them. Follow them when it's time, and temper them if you feel them burning away too much. Always know how to reignite your spark. Respect your flame and the external flame is connected to, and the eternal flame, that is connected to. Know when this flame is meant to fuel, cook, warm, nurture, and destroy. All right, so temper your ambitions. Direct your ambition and your will in the direction of said desire, okay? Because, again, putting your eyes back on your own plate, in your own lane, on your own being and things, okay? You'll know what, where you need to turn up the heat, where you need to take more action, where you need to give more of your focused energy, where you need to move more consistently. All right. So when these messages are coming in from Rainbow, and I also feel like with Rainbow, you know that these spiritual messages are there. You know whether or not you're seeing, auras, orbs, floating lights. I would also say to not fear this. If it's something that's intimidating to you, speak about it aloud. Say how you would prefer the spiritual communication to come through that's best for you. However, if you're already starting to see this, it's nothing to be afraid of. You may want to have a telepathic communication, conversation, and work that out that way. But anyway, back to fire. Once you're able to direct your ambitions properly, your results will start to follow that. And it's just really about you knowing that it starts with you and it ends with you, because this is something that, number one, started with your own desire, and so the results are then coming through your faculties. So you know how people say energy goes or grows where attention flows. So pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to what you've written down. Pay attention to what you've done up until this point. Pay attention to why you say, or why you want what you say you want. Pay attention to your lane. Pay attention to your abilities. Pay attention to how you can add to those abilities. Pay attention to what you may need to do habitually to sustain said abilities, goals, etc., etc. All right. Let's see if we can pull something from the High Council deck. All right. Gratitude.